All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is September 17th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my subscribers. Try to provide actionable, profitable content every day. Again, thank you everybody out there in digital land, cyber land, podcast land. Thank you for following my content. All right, let's take a peek at some charts today. Let's see what we got. All right, what do we got here? Let's move this over. See what happened. We'll go over that all in time. All right, so on QQQ, 10 minute. Got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2 hour. Got a 2 hour downtrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, got a lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. We're still bullish up here, okay? Notice that tail, all right? Mostly all tail down there. A little bit of body and wick, all right? That's bullish. Bulls had majority of the control on that price action candle right there. So QQQ, weekly in an uptrend, monthly also in an uptrend, okay? Don't have that 2 hour. They may recover it later on, but right now it doesn't look too good. All right, so there's QQQ. On the game plan, let's take a look at the game plan, see if that worked out today. Game plan, we were underneath. You had red erases green down here, and you had a 10-minute downtrend, which closed out right about here. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, so the 10-minute downtrend closed right here. Came back, tested VWAP, and then slammed down here to make some new lows. And then from there, we climbed back up on top of the price action right through here, on top of VWAP. So into the close, you got a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. There's QQQ, okay? So again, I was not interested in shorting this, okay? Only because the markets are bullish. I'm not big on going counter trend. FOMC was the main event today, so there was you can see all the whippy price action, whole lot of volatility today at 2 p.m. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at SPY. All right, SPY, we needed price action to close up here over 660. It failed to do it. All right, so price action, we've got, let's move this stuff out of the way. On the 10-minute chart, we have 10-minute chart. We've got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2 hour chart. 2 hour downtrend coming into the close. All right. Or they may recover this. We'll see what happens. Daily chart. Same as SPY. Did they make a higher high today? I don't think so. High there is 661.78. High there is 661.72. Lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17. Up there, top of quadrant 4. All right, that's bullish up there at the top of quadrant 4 on the daily chart. So if we zoom way out, you can see quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. SPY on the daily chart. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend. Monthly chart, still in an uptrend. So there's SPY. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, for Diamond Dow on the daily chart, we have a new all-time high made today on Diamond Dow. That is bullish and still in an uptrend on Diamond Dow. IWM, big time challenge of the all-time high right here. Couldn't close on the higher ground though, but in the middle of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend. Look at that. They almost made a new all-time high, IWM. I think they make one. We'll see what happens tomorrow. There's IWMs. Take a look at FNGU. FNGU, lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA, FNGU. Let's take a look at silver and gold. All right, silver, lower high, lower low, closing under bullish trap, but over the rising 17. Silver, top of quadrant 4, that's still bullish and in an uptrend up there. Okay, so silver in the buy box there right now. Okay, coming into minor support right there. Let's take a look at GLD. Gold, did they ink out a new all-time high? Yes, they did. Gold got a new all-time high today. Doesn't get any better than that. Consolidating up at there at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend for GLD right up there. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG got a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Still in a downtrend till they take out that high right there of that candle right here underneath my cursor. Okay, still in a downtrend and still bearish because it's down here in the middle of quadrant 1. So UNG still in a downtrend, almost very close to converting the downtrend into an uptrend, taking out that high. So there's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. All right, here's USO, lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO in an uptrend and just neutral, okay? Not in the upper third, not in the lower third. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2101, all right, did wake up and start moving in the other direction, and here we are closing some candles or some candle bars down in the reversal zone. So that's T2101 on the 15-minute chart. This is the market breadth. Again, losing more and more breadth today. All right. T2122. We spent part of the day up here in the buy zone. Actually, in the overbought zone. And then we made an appearance once, twice, 3 times in the buy zone. Only to make another appearance in the overbought zone. Then we got tossed out by the bears. I mean, flying. They swatted us all the way into the seller's chop zone, airborne, all the way over buy zone, all the way over the buyer's chop zone, airborne, landing in seller's chop zone, and the bulls hooked us and landed us inside the buyer's chop zone. So ending the day on the other side of the midpoint, that's bullish. That's T2122 right there. T2123, new all-time high for T2123 today. All in all, price action bullish. Okay, a little bullish gap up, and the bears filled the gap. There's a lot of volatility today at 2 o'clock. Okay, price action still holding the higher ground up there. Still up over the rising 200 SMA. That's T2123. T2123 3 bar, of course, new all-time high. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend. T2123 3 bar. Did they put in a lower low? No, they did here, but that's not really a valley. This is the valley. So, still in an uptrend on T2123. 15-minute chart. 3 bar chart, still in an uptrend over the rising 200 SMA. 15 minutes still over the 200 SMA. Okay. FNGU. FNGU was disappointment today, melted off. Find ourselves back on top of rising 200 SMA. So 15 minutes in a downtrend. Obviously, they made, here's a low, they made lower lows. There's a low. Again, they made lower lows. So, no higher highs. Let's see if did they make a higher high. Got a 1 candle, not going to count that. So still in a downtrend, but trying to bounce up off of this rising 200 SMA right there. Did they print a new all-time high? No, they did not. So FNGU still in a downtrend, but bullish because it's up over this 200 SMA, and it's up at the top of quadrant 4, so that's bullish. But the 15-minute chart is in a downtrend. They could easily negate this by taking out this high right here on the 15-minute chart. All right, let's take a look at how I made 8K today. So let's pull up SPY and QQQ. Let's go to clean chart and let's move this over. Traded a lot of products today. All right, Intel, sold some Intel calls up here. Still long on Intel, like the consolidation over prior consolidation. I like that. Little melting off today, a little bit more than normal, but made $2 on Intel calls. SPY 690 calls, 16 days till expiration. I caught a little bit of the volatility and made $3 up there. Okay, on catching some of that volatility. 420 on 670 calls, 9 days till expiration. Again, made most of that on the volatility spike right up there. If I pull up the 5-minute chart, you can see on the volatility spike, price action ripping right out of the gate after 2 o'clock. And we were getting ready for that. QQQ puts made 500. Again, bottom here, sold them up there. All right, on QQQ puts. $416 on Marvell. Marvell was in a nice 10-minute uptrend, so I bought the trend line going up. A little green erases red right here. And I sold off into strength. Every time it popped up, sold off into strength, sold off into strength, sold off into strength, and of course I bought the dips as well. Okay, so Marvell bullish. Looking for Marvell to fill the gap up there. Okay, so there's Marvell. Let's take a look at SPY, September 445 on September 665 calls. All right, so I was planning on a much bigger move to the bullish side, so I bought and I sold into strength up here, okay? So there's price action for sold 445 on those calls there. Again, selling into strength, into that rally candle up there, and then the bearish engulfing move. 127 on some QQQ puts. You can see right here. All right, so sold short, covered, sold short, covered. Okay, so these were this was a debit put spread. All right, so I sold those short, and the other half of that put spread is these right here. Okay, obviously I didn't make any money on those because those are underwater, but those are 570 puts. They expire on Friday. All right, so looking for some price action to double down and exit on those. It's QQQ. That's a 5-minute chart. Let's move this over. And looking to exit on those. Not good enough for me yet. Looking to really wallop it hard in a downtrend. Didn't quite have the downtrend I was looking for. That was counter trend at the time. And you can see right now we've got 10-minute uptrend or 5-minute, 10-minute uptrend right here coming into the close. Made $68 on some 670 calls. 2 days till expiration. Again, I bought these in anticipation of a rip, and I sold into strength, reloaded, and then I sold into strength right there. Made $955 on some 668 calls. Again, anticipating a bigger bounce than what we got. Sold into strength, reloaded, sold into strength, reloaded, and sold into strength there on those 668 calls. Not really interested in those because I got the 600. I'd rather hold on to the 600. Made $240 on the 600 right here. I like these better. A little bit cheaper. And I like the strike. Strike's a lot lower. $8 lower. Well, that's QQQ. So that's I like this one better anyways. QQQ on the 600 calls. Again, bought right here to for a rally, looking for price to actually move much higher than this on the basis points for the FOMC. Didn't get much, took what I could get, and wound up making $240. Again, buying the lows, selling the highs of those candles right there. those are the puts that I didn't that I'm used on the other half of the debit spread, the 21 right there. 550 on some 620 puts. Again, looking for price to dip down here, and didn't quite get price to stick down here. Instead, it flailed all the way back up here to where price action was on SPY. Bought right here. I wanted some cheap, out of the money puts just in case the market decided to do a harsh sell-off. All right, so I got these in case it did that. Of course, we did get some sell-off, and I sold into strength on that. And I really don't want any more of those. Okay, so I don't think I have any. I don't want any more of those. Okay, so just canceled that order there. That was $550 I made on those 620 puts. $44 on some QQQ puts. Sold up here. All right, into strength, and reloading, trying to exit close to break even if I can. Doesn't look like it's going to cooperate for me today. 922 on some 665 calls. Again, bought the dip, sold into strength, bought the dip, sold into strength on these option candles. Bought the dip, sold into strength, bought the dip, sold into strength. These expired today, so I didn't want to hold these coming into the close. Didn't look promising with this big move to the downside. QQQ 578 puts, made 3,410. Again, I bought those and sold into strength as price popped right down here. Okay, so price went up and then dipped right here, and that's where I sold into strength on that QQQ puts right there. So that's it for me for today. Volatile day. It was hectic day. There was hardly any pattern at all. There was one good pattern, okay, on QQQ and SPY, and that was the 10-minute downtrend coming out of the gate. For me, I didn't want to trade it because it's counter trend. I'm not really interested. We really didn't break anything major here, and with FOMC, I really wanted to buy the dip, which if you did buy the dip, which I explained, that's what I really wanted to do, buy the dip, you got rewarded with a nice rip right up here, back up into the opening number. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to do, was not sell this 10-minute downtrend, but buy the 10-minute downtrend so that I could get the 25 basis point cut and then market rejoicing on it. So, and to sell into strength right up there. That's it. I wasn't interested in the 10-minute downtrend. All right. I am interested in this 10-minute uptrend. If we can get it to close or price to get up over this 592. All right. The same with SPY. I'm interested in SPY if we can get price to get on top of 661, 660. All right, up there, closing over 661. All right, that would be ideal. All right, for bullishness on the SPY. Not happening today. Didn't get what I wanted today. If we do have a return of a 10-minute downtrend, I'll be interested in trading that one tomorrow. We'll see what happens. All right, that's it for me today, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you.